Hi guys, welcome back to the Astrology. Today we are continuing with the monthly reading, and in this video you are going to be watching the reading for the Aquarius Rising or Ascendants, and you can also watch this video from an Aquarius moon perspective. Now, of course, your question a lot of times is that how do I understand from a rising as well as from a moon sign perspective? If this video is being watched from a moon sign perspective, then you should understand that how it can give you an impact from an emotional and mental standpoint, whilst the rising or ascendant is going to give you a sense as to what are going to be the physical manifestations, significances that you're going to observe during the course of the month. So without further ado, guys, let's just jump start in terms of seeing what are the planetary positions, what is going to happen because of this planetary impact in the course of March. Now, my Aquarius friends, what you're going to be noticing is that if you are watching this from a moon sign perspective, then this Saturn, which is your Lagna Lord or Ascendant Lord, are visible here. He is coming on top of your moon, and he is going to be transiting on 29th of March in the sign of Pisces, second from your moon, which is going to start the third phase of your Sadhisati. However, if you are watching this from a ascendant perspective, you have to understand your 12th Lord as well as your ascendant Lord is currently in combustion because of its conjunction with Sun. Now, Sun happens to be your 7th Lord coming into your ascendant perspective, which is interesting because this has made you an extremely confident person. But somewhere there has been a level of self doubt that would also creep in. There will be some kind of nuances that will come into your decision making, into your health, towards your health related aspects too, or any kind of manifestations that you have planned for the course of the month. Why do I say that? Though the conjunction is in the Lagna, it is in a Raj Yoga in itself. It's great for your professional success. It's great if you are associated in terms of any kind of business associations, business partnerships, especially if these connections are with foreign collaborations. It's going to be extremely positive for you. But at the same time, you are going to find that your partner, both from a professional as well as a personal perspective, they would want to overpower on top of you. The reason that is that Sun, which is the Lord of Seventh, is coming to the ascendant. Somewhere or the other, partnership, collaboration, marriage, relationships, they are going to be taking critical role during the course of this month, especially in the first half. Even as you move ahead from 14th of March, once Sun is moving into your second house, you are going to realize that there will be some positive outcome in terms of you materializing that in some achievement. It could be with respect to your gains, it could be with respect to your savings, some kind of monetary positive action coming into play for you. However, Star Saturn will still continue to remain combusted for you. He is also steadily moving, following that Sun and about to enter your second house, which is such a mess. The reason I say a mess is because for all of us, Pisces as a sign has presence of all these planets. Now, first and foremost, you have to understand that Venus is already sitting in retrogression there, and it is in conjunction with Rahu. Mercury had also joined in at the start of the month. You will find Mercury is direct, it is not retrograded as represented, but Mercury will get retrograded from 14th of March when Sun is going to be coming into that conjunction. But Venus happens to be the Lord of your fourth house as well as your ninth house sitting in the second. And he's got into retrogression, which means that there will be some kind of a delay, some sort of a slowness that you would be observing in terms of things materializing for you, in terms of savings continuing for you. Don't get me wrong, you're still going to make it, you're still going to find positive outcomes on all those areas, but there will be some sort of a delay before you can see that amplification coming into play. course, I talked about amplification because Rahu is sitting in conjunction and he was not going to want anything small. He would want to amplify things, magnify things, and see everything that you do in terms of your saving, in terms of celebrations at in terms of any kind of positive manifestations with your family, even some kind of auspicious event that is going to be at a larger scale. Now, not everybody is going to be having that kind of an auspicious event. It is going to be dependent your natal chart. And guys, I keep emphasizing on this point. The transits are going to give you 10, 20, 30% at max an impact, but it's your natal chart, natal dashas and antardashas, which are going to determine as to what things are going to be like in the course of the month. Of course, Venus is also the lord of your fourth house, and it is doing 11 places away from itself and coming in an exchange with Jupiter, which is a very positive thing. So, I definitely see that there is going to be an expansion in your assets. There is going to be some sort of a growth coming your way, but it could find some level of delay as well. Now, Mercury on the other side, which is the lord of your fifth house and your eighth house. He is coming bang opposite to himself. He is coming 10 places away to himself. And it's sign of debilitation in your second house. But I'm still not too skeptical about it because this Mercury is getting a niche punk thanks to the exaltation of your Venus. Of course, this Mercury is giving an exalted aspect to the eighth house. What does this all construe for you? First and foremost, there is that definitive diminishing in savings. You could be facing a few expenses coming in your way. Medical emergencies, health related issues could also be coming in because of these planetary movements. Remember, Saturn is the lord of 12th who's come into the ascendant and he is in combustion. So, some sort of losses is anticipated for you folks. But at the same time, you have to understand that this Mercury is also coming seventh from itself. He's the lord of the eighth, which means there has been some level of uncertainty, some level of suddenness, transformation that has come either in your family affairs or it could come in terms of your money savings itself. I keep emphasizing money because all of these planets, Venus, Rahu, Mercury, they have significant connection to that bit and they are going to play their role on all of those angles for you. At the same time, that the lord of your second house is Jupiter, who's sitting in exchange with Venus, which is such a calming factor to me because that exchange, Parivartan Yoga, is definitely promising to us that whilst things might look slightly turbulent, tad bit turbulent for you, they will still continue to move ahead with these minor hiccups. Now, all of these planets are giving an aspect to your eighth house. There is definitely an interest towards the unknown. There's definitely an interest towards occult, towards research. And that is what you've been focusing towards. And once Sun also becomes conjunct in your second house, you are going to put a further impetus in that direction. My warning, though, to you guys would be that with the retrogression of Venus, with the debilitation of Mercury and presence of Sun out of the second house, please be watchful with respect to your communication as to how you are articulating your thought process and expressing your emotions within your family because that could be challenging. Please also be watchful on the quantity and the quality of food that you are consuming. That is going to be extremely important. People who are watching this video from their kids' perspective or who are currently pursuing their education, you will find certain challenges coming in your way, but fear not, you will also be overcoming those problems with respect to your education and you're going to do well in that regards. With respect to your children, please try and spend more time with them. You need to do that, Aquarius ascendants and Aquarius moon folks. Your kids could have minor health issues as well. It could have happened in the month of February and it might continue at least for the first half of March as well. And that risk has to be addressed by you folks. Now, at the same time, you have to understand that Rahu and Ketu are in the last leg of this axis, but the most critical period will be when Saturn also becomes conjunct, which is going to happen from 29th of March. If you are interested for me to prepare a video as to what that Saturn transit is going to do, especially if you want to know from a Sati perspective as Aquarius moon signs, I would request you folks to please put that comment here right now and ask me, Dave, please prepare a Sati or Saturn transit video, and I shall do that for you. Now, Ketu's presence in the 8th has definitely ignited your interest towards the occult. That is why probably you're watching this video as well. But things are not going to be easy with the transit of Ketu into the 7th house. Rahu is going to be coming into the Lagna, which is still way better than what Ketu is going to be offering. At the same time, you have to understand that Venus is going to draw your attention towards certain matters which might not be good from a character or dignity perspective. You will have to uphold your belief, your dignity, your principles. He is the Lord of your ninth, and he is in retrograde, giving an aspect both to the 8th and slight bit to the 7th. So you understand where we're coming from. And the next few months are absolutely going to be testing your metal as well, and you have to hold the fort from that perspective. This Jupiter on the other side is making things positive. He's giving an aspect to your 8th. You're getting an aspect from Mars as well into the 8th house. Lots of action happening from unexpected areas. Aquarius folks, I wouldn't be surprised if you face a lot of known unknown challenges, turbulences in the last few weeks. Yes, it's a couple of more weeks that can be challenging, but things will still ease out as the movement progresses. Once Mercury becomes direct and once Venus also becomes direct, I think you are going to find some leeway there. Jupiter is definitely helping you out with his aspect. He's giving an aspect to your 10th house as well. His presence in the 4th is extraordinary because it's natural placement of exaltation. But being the Karaka of the 10th house, he is going to push you to achieve all the more. Saturn is expecting you to not drop the ball when it comes to hard work. And we'll talk about Mars in a bit. But Jupiter's aspect towards the 12th is telling us that you will have to somehow figure out some strategy towards charitable deeds, donations during the course of March. Given that we are expecting the eclipse, given that we are expecting some turbulence with multi-planetary positions into your second house, your family environment, your food, etc., becomes hypercritical Aquarius, and you must take precautions from all those areas. Now, Mars, which is the lord of your third house, going three places away from itself, and lord of your 10th house in your fifth, is definitely going to bring a lot of energy you to achieve all the more with respect to your efforts, with respect to your karma. You want to be creative around it, you want to accomplish it, but your vocabulary, your communication, your expression of ideas, not only internally within the family, but also in a professional setup, is going to be extremely important. Remember, Saturn is giving an aspect, debilitated aspect here to the third house ruled by Mars. But this Saturn is now combusted. He's your Lagna Lord. He is currently combusted. Your energy would definitely be a little low. But this Mars is also giving an aspect to your 11th house, your house of gains, and an exalted aspect to your 12th. So some sort of expenses will come your way. Now, if you would want to make huge expenses or divert that in the direction of investments, as I was talking about in the month of February as well, that is going to be your call. And that is exactly what you should be doing if you're watching this channel. You should utilize these planetary motions to understand that this is a period to either make the right charitable deeds, donations, or invest big time into the long term strategies so that you are not hurt. Last but not the least, until your Saturn is combust, I would recommend you to not be making any major decisions. Please do not take any major calls with respect to your job, career, given that it's giving an aspect to your 10th house, anything with respect to your spouse, business partnerships, relationships. Please be a bit watchful. If you need to take a step back and understand that there is a certain feedback coming from the outer world, from the external parties, have the humility to accept it as well. But at the same time, leave no stone unturned. Combusted Saturn giving an aspect to, debilitated aspect to the third house could mean that you might lose on that energy as well. Guys, you should not be dropping the ball on any initiative. Go ahead, hold the challenges on top of it. Try and see that what best efforts you can put, given that there could be certain turbulence within the family from a health perspective, from a food, diet, wealth, and savings perspective. It is extremely important for you, Aquarius, to be cautious about your decisions making. I hope this makes sense, folks. Any kind of long distance, short distance travel also has to be planned carefully. If you've enjoyed watching this video, then please smash on that like button, subscribe to the Astrology, and keep watching. Om Namah Shivaya.